Pro stock drivers have been shooting for the right to compete in this special event, the Hurst Pro Stock Shootout. The scene is Bristol International Dragway in Tennessee. 1987 world champion Ricky Smith in the Motorcraft Ford. Billy Ewing in the Ewing & Ewing Camaro. Tim Neighbors in the Neighbors Automotive Camaro. And Jerry Haas, the chassis builder from St. Louis. Brett Kepner asked the drivers,
in a word, who's going to win this race?
I hope to.
It's anybody's race.
Man who wins this Hurst Shootout, $15,000, he's going to earn it today.
That's the question. The answer next. ESPN, the world's leader in motorsports coverage, presents Speed World. We welcome you to Bristol International Dragway in Tennessee for the Hurst Pro Stock Shootout. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Bob Jenkins along with Ted Jones, and something a little bit different for you today here on ESPN. IHRA drag racing, not a regular show, but instead the Hurst Pro Stock Shootout. Ted, what's it all about?
The Hurst Pro Stock Shootout is the most prestigious drag race that there is in the world of drag racing for pro stockers. They've run all season long special qualifying sessions on every Saturday night of each IHRA national event. Points have been awarded by the Hurst Shifter Division of the Mr. Gasket Company to those top ETs turned in that Saturday night qualifying session. Now those top point gainers are invited to this special shootout right here at Bristol, Bob.
What to look for as far as a spectator today and a viewer? Well, watch the reaction time of the drivers. We'll have a special camera that will show the Christmas tree light counting down, and then the cars jump off the line. As far as favorites, Ted, who should we look for?
Really, there is no favorite because there's only about a tenth of a second separating the first and eighth place qualifiers. I suppose if you had to pick one, you'd probably pick world champion Ricky Smith.
And Brett Kepner will be covering the pit area for us today. The Hurst Pro Stock Shootout is being brought to you by Hurst Shifters, a division of Mr. Gasket Company and the Performance People. And by Drag Review, all you need to know about drag racing. The Hurst Pro Stock Shootout is coming up, first quarterfinal elimination, and we'll be right back for it. Finals in the Pro Stock Shootout, sponsored by Hurst here at Bristol. Bob Olson, who qualified fourth in this event, will be going up against James Ruth, who was a semifinalist last year. Here's Brett.
Jim, 1 year ago, you found yourself in the final round of this race. I'm sure you're looking for the win rather than runner-up this year.
Well, we'd like to have a win down here. It's going to be some real close racing this weekend, Brett. Top 12 was within 800ths of a second, so it's going to be close racing.
It's going to be an amazing race, and you're one of the quickest and fastest out there. This car traditionally runs over 190 on every run.
Well, Harold Denton does a real good job keeping this car prepared. He's an excellent crew chief.
The comments from Jim Ruth. He's lined up on the right side of your screen. Bob Olson on the left. Here's the light.
Jim Ruth could crank out one of those 190-mile-an-hour runs. Look at him weave around a little bit. Here comes Olson.
Oh, Olson walks off with a victory with a 189.87, a 741. And here's a replay.
Taking a look at the reaction times, Jimmy Ruth actually left first on Olson, so this one's going to boil down to pure ET. Ruth breaking loose just a little bit there at mid-track. Now tries to straighten it out. It's horsepower time for the Stewart and Olson entry, and that was the story.
Olson moves on to the semis. Terry Adams coming up in a moment. Brett, talk with him.
Terry, this racetrack has always been good to you. After a runner-up here at the Spring Nationals, you seem to know this surface well.
Yes, I live about 2 hours down the road, and I have done tested here in the past, and it's kind of a hometown track for me. I feel good about the race.
Well, it's got to give you an advantage, especially since you have the Williford Farms Trans Am running down in the low 740s.
Yes, we made a practice run this morning, run a 742 at 192 mile an hour. In the Hurst Pro Stock Shootout, the 8 cars, all 8 cars, any man could win.
Terry Adams, his opponent is Gary Hayjack, who is in the right lane. Here we go. Adams in the near lane from North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. Close race. Oh, Adams got him at the line.
What an incredible upset. Terry Adams has done it, the North Wilkesboro ace. Look at the reaction time. Adams off first with a 0.4. He's moving down on Hayjack now, a 7.46. Brilliant time. Adams talked with Brett.
It was good racing all the way down, 7.46 to a losing 7.48. You were side by side.
It was a close race. I could see him all the way down the track.
Well, you're going into the semifinals, and this car has proven that it's got the power. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Well, Jerry Haas will be a competitor in a quarterfinal round coming up here in just a moment. And not only is Jerry Haas one of the top drivers, he's also one of the top car builders. He's built several for the competitors here this weekend. Brett Kettner now about Ricky Smith.
The sole representative for the Ford Motor Company in the Hurst Pro Stock Shootout is the man who's already wrapped up the 1987 IHRA World Pro Stock Championship, Ricky Smith. Interestingly enough, however, Smith has chose this all-important Hurst Pro Stock Shootout to debut a brand-new, never-been-tried 1988 Ford Thunderbird. The machine, built by Jerry Bickle Race Cars, includes a chassis that's virtually identical to the one that already wrapped up the World Championship, but this one is much more aerodynamically engineered. In fact, it's one of the first sealed-tight Pro Stockers ever built. It's a complete vacuum-formed interior of this machine that allows the air to slip more cleaner over the body than any Pro Stocker before it.
And here's another international hot rod hit. The question is, what was the quickest elapsed time ever recorded in pro stock drag racing history? Was it 7:17, 6:99, or a 7:21? Back with the answer in just a moment. Hot rod hit. What was the quickest elapsed time ever recorded in pro stock drag racing history?
Ricky Smith set the quickest elapsed time in pro stock drag racing history with his historic 7.17 second pass at the All-Pro Winter Nationals in March of this year.
And here it is as he was up against Roy Hill. Ricky Smith with the quickest ET in pro stock drag racing history, a 7:17.
Take a look at the reaction of the crew as Ricky Smith turned that 7:17 to win the All-Pro Winter Nationals.
Well, Ricky Smith is going to be in the Hurst Shootout here in just a second against Tim Neighbors, and Brett had an opportunity to talk with Tim Neighbors, who certainly has his work cut out for him.
Well, this gives you a golden opportunity to make big waves in this particular class here at the Hurst Pro Stock Shootout, and this afternoon you're going to definitely have a run for your money.
Yeah, Ricky Smith's real tough. And if I had to say, he's probably the hardest one to beat out there, and if I beat him, things will be looking pretty good.
Well, you're only 300ths of a second away from him in actual elapsed time, and a slight hole shot will be able to drive around that.
If I leave good and the car does fair, I've got a real good chance of beating him, but there's a lot of variables there, and it'll be hard to do.
Well, you would certainly think that Ricky Smith would be the favorite going into this round with Tim Neighbors, but who knows? Anything can happen in drag racing. Smith is on the near lane, and Tim Neighbors on the far lane. Let's see what happens. Neighbors giving him a good run, but Smith edges him out just by a whisker.
Smith and horsepower time, the only way he edged him out was with a top speed. Let's take a look at the reaction times. Neighbors actually beat Ricky Smith off the starting line. That doesn't happen very often. Now, Smith reaches down for horsepower. The speed tells the story, and he pulls it out.
Good run, Tim.
You drove right around him, 7:39 again, so this car is consistently in the 7:30s, even though we're only talking about a few runs on a brand new car.
Yeah, I'm a little uncomfortable in it right now. I feel a little better now we got that round over, so I get back on my lights maybe.
And Billy Ewing from Snellville, Georgia, second fastest qualifier, getting set to go against Jerry Haas from St. Louis, Missouri. And again, Haas has his work cut out for him. Here's Brett.
Jerry, your driving has improved tremendously this year, and your runner-up finish at the IHRA World Nationals has got to give you a big morale boost coming into this all-important event.
Well, it takes a lot of hard work, and people like Doug Williams helping me with the car, and Todd Beavis, my crew guy, things like that. You know, it just takes a team effort to do this.
Who do you consider the biggest challenge coming into the shootout?
The biggest challenge for me is beating Billy Ewing first round.
And we are in quarterfinal action. Ewing on the left and Haas on the right. And Haas gets a good hole shot, but here comes Ewing, and Ewing beats him by about a nose.
Once again, that top mile an hour is what's paying off, Bob. it'll be, look at the reaction times as Ewing is off the line first. Should be out ahead of Haas. At the very top end, you'll see Haas begin to pull, and that will tell the story. Here's Brett.
Well, Billy, you told us that this car's got the power. It ran 194.38 miles an hour, but the difference was an 0.08 of a second hole shot. Haas ran 738 and lost to your 741.
Oh, that's real good. I'm glad I got that hole shot. Definitely helped me.
It would have been a different story had you not had the hole shot.
That's true.
Well, the car, like you said, is running near record speeds, and you just beat the national speed record holder, so that'll put you in the semis with the Ewing Brothers Camaro.
Yes, I definitely hope we win this Hurst Shootout this weekend.
Well, good luck to you, guy.
Okay, thank you.
We have now our pairings for the semifinals as we've completed quarterfinal round activity. And in the semifinals, the competitors are going to be Smith, Olson, Adams, and Billy Ewing. Well, what's involved in the driving of and the preparation of a pro stock? Here is Brett Kepner.
The pro stockers we'll be seeing today during the Hurst Pro Stock Shootout are some of the most exotic in all of motorsports. These machines, although they appear to be stock automobiles, are actually built from the ground up with one purpose and one purpose only: to make it down the quarter mile in as quick an elapsed time and at as fast a speed as possible. These machines are built completely out of chromoly tubing. These machines also feature tubing railing throughout the interior, including, of course, the all-important protective roll cage. The roll cage in this particular machine, the Pontiac Trans Am of Gary Hajek Sr. and Jr., the Norton Automotive machine, uses a funny car-style roll cage that completely envelops the driver's body. Of course, the engine of these machines is unlike any other in any form of motorsports. This particular item, a 672 cubic inch Oldsmobile engine, uses the mandatory carburetors and gasoline to produce over 1,200 horsepower. The interiors in these machines are sparse yet beautiful. This particular machine, completely done in beautiful anodized aluminum, is functional, yet obviously one of the best appearing machines in drag racing. Inside you'll find, of course, the steering wheel, the brake pedal, the clutch pedal, the throttle pedal, and of course the unique planetary transmission used in these machines, this one a 4-speed transmission. In the back of the machine, the fuel cell. It only holds 3 or 4 gallons of gas, but these machines can use 1 or 2 gallons per quarter-mile run, and of course the batteries used to start the machine. Everything on the car, as far as body panels are concerned, with the sole exception of the roof and rear quarter panels, is fiberglass or carbon fiber. Yet when everything is put back together, these machines can be some of the most beautiful and certainly some of the quickest and fastest machines imaginable. As this machine sits in front of us completely in pieces, the question is, how do you put it back together? Well, Gary Hajek, his father, and crewman Danny Phelps are going to show you how to put a pro stock back together.
And look at the speed and enthusiasm with which the crew puts the car back together. It takes no time. Here's another IHRA hit for 87. Bob Glidden recorded the fastest speed in pro stock drag racing history during the 87 season. What was the eye-opening speed? Was it 201, 197, or 199? We'll have the answer in just a moment.